Good morning and welcome to Industry TV Network. Make sure you hit the like button, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Just in case I go live or drop a video, you will be notified. I hope all of you listening, all of you who come across this video, are doing well. These are unrecognizable times in this world, and I've just been sitting back and watching what's going on with these Palisades fires and how it's spreading throughout LA, California. And it's just a whole lot of stuff going on that I just couldn't compress and speak on in one video. But one thing that I became interested in that I came across this morning is this article. Karen Bass is getting thrown under the bus, and Yvette Nicole Brown and Kim Whitley, two celebrities, are defending her. Now I'm going to read a few details from this article, and then we're going to talk about this. Yvette Nicole Brown and Kim Whitley are standing behind Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, saying she's a woman of steel and people are unfairly criticizing her because of her race. We caught up with the two stars in LA Saturday, and we asked them about Mayor Bass's response to the devastating wildfires, because both of them ardently supported Bass's run for the job. Brown starts out by saying Karen has a spine of steel, and she's been a black woman in America for a long time, so these kind of shots aren't new to her. Whitley and Brown agreed that people need to stand behind their mayor and think at least some of the criticism is born from ignorance about the different regions of LA, pointing out Malibu has its own mayor, so the Pacific Palisades wildfire can't be laid solely at her feet. Yvette ends the chat by saying that LA has had fires for years, but in her 30 years in Los Angeles, she can't remember a mayor getting raked over the coals like this, and she implies a lot of the reason for that is race. Now, this is where I disagree. It is said that Karen Bass was responsible for cutting $17 million out of the budget that would had ensured that there was enough water and resources to fight these wildfires. Now, they're talking about race. Race has nothing to do with this. If you ask me, Mayor Bass was hired, or she was elected in there to play this position, and so was the governor and everybody else empowered that were irresponsible. These people are complacent. They really, for a place that is known for having wildfires, that should have been a main priority. All of these contingency plans and risk management should have been a main priority out there. So no, I don't think she's being attacked for being a black woman. She just happens to be a black woman who's being attacked for being irresponsible. The Palisades fire is the largest of several blazes that have plagued the city this week. It's burned more than 23,000 acres already, and it's expected to continue for some time. Bass has faced the brunt of attacks by prominent conservatives and even some well-known celebs, including Khloe Kardashian, who called her a joke. Whitley was forced to evacuate her home in Tarzana because of the Palisades fire, detailing the chilling experience she and her son went through. The blaze has disrupted life in LA, but Yvette and Kim don't think it's fair to blame Mayor Bass for that. Now, there's another city there that was a town. I'm sorry I forgot the name. It's just so much information coming in all at once. But this area was an area of affluent black citizens. It was an affluent black community. And mostly that whole town is burnt down, but they're not talking about that.
What did you love and lose in the fire?
I lost everything. From a guy with everything to nothing. I spent my whole life helping people, and I didn't think it would happen to me, but it did. But I have my health and my life. About 10 or 12 years ago, I was going home, going up lake, and I see this person sitting on the bench shaking, which I knew him anyway, because I coached him when he was in high school. He says, where's your jacket? He says, Coach, I don't have one. I said, okay. But I ended up giving all of my jackets away. A lot of people helped me when I was a kid. So that makes a difference. I used to have a sporting goods store. Then I started giving away shoes because when I was going to elementary school, I prayed many days because my shoes.
What did you love?
Shoes had holes in them that it wouldn't break. So it's short of money. I give them the shoes anyway. The young man today drove at least 200 or 300 people to see their houses, and I offered to give him some money for gas. He says, no, I won't take it, Walt, because you wouldn't take it. Maybe he's going to be my replacement, which wouldn't be bad, you know. I'm one of these dumb guys that think you can save the world. I would think that way till I die. I've been knocked down before, but not like this. Times are tough, but I'm not giving up.
They keep showing us these celebrities who 90% of the time have another home or have the resources to have somewhere to stay. Maybe they've lost some memorabilia or stuff like that that was held dear to them, but it's not like these normal citizens who worked hard to have something in life and to own something, and now they don't have it anymore. And as far as we're hearing, the insurance has been canceled for many of these type of people, and they're not talking about that. So if you want to talk about black people and you want to defend black people, you should be defending this town of affluent black people who have lost their homes. Karen Bass can go home at night and have somewhere to sleep. She's not worried about her property being burned down. And that's where the buck stops with that for me. Now this LA lady here, this lady, let's go to this. Her name is, she's the water boss, okay? LA's $750,000 a year water boss struggles to explain why fire hydrants ran dry in bumbling video about inferno response. Los Angeles water boss who makes $750,000 a year. She makes more than the mayor. The mayor makes $300,000. She makes $750,000 a year. Could not quite explain why fire hydrants have run dry during the disastrous wildfires in a bumbling video. During a press conference Wednesday, Janice Quinones, the newly appointed Chief Executive Officer and Chief Engineer of the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power, said all water storage tanks in the Pacific Palisades area went dry as flames continue to rage on. Now here's what I have to say about that. Now these people, they get hired because of someone they know. There's a lot of nepotism, a lot of favoritism, a lot of she's in this club, she's in this sorority, and these people are not qualified for these positions. The first thing you should do, knowing that there's a problem with wildfires in California, is make sure everything is done, that just in case something happens, you guys are good and ready.
In the States, we have 3 large water tanks, about 1 million gallons each. We ran out of water in the first tank at about 4:45 p.m. yesterday. We ran out of water on the second tank about 8:30 p.m. and the third tank about 3 a.m. this morning. Those tanks help with the pressure on the fire hydrants and the hills of Palisades. And because we were pushing so much water in our trunk line, and so much water was being used before it can get to the tanks, we were not able to fill the tanks fast enough. So the consumption of water was faster than we can provide water in our trunk line. We were trying to keep water at all altitudes on the Palisades, and I think about 3 in the morning, that's when the hydrants went dry above the Brentwood area. We are able to push water on that trunk line on the east side of that. And we have some water on higher elevations, 16 to 18,000, but at 3,000, at 3 a.m., all of the fire hydrants went dry in the Palisades. What are we doing now? We're sending about 20 water tanks for our construction crews full of water to support the fire department. We identify other areas in our system where our tankers can refill. It takes about 30 minutes to refill about 4,000 gallons of water, and we're constantly moving that water to the fire department to get them as much water as we can. I would also ask for the people on zip code 90272, because we're pushing the water system so hard, our water quality is decreasing. So we're going to be issuing a boil water notice this morning, and that will extend for about 48 hours. The water quality is low. We have a lot of ash in the system. And so please, if you're going to be drinking water, you need to boil the water. Those boil waters will continue to increase as the system starts restoring.
Initially, Mayor Karen Bass refused to answer questions about the Los Angeles fires, and this was on Wednesday as a reporter pressed her about being out of town while fires burned out of control in her city. Bass did not acknowledge Sky News reporter David Blevins as he asked her a series of questions about her being in Ghana in the early hours of wildfires that had engulfed much of America's second largest city. Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Blevins asked her on an airport jetway. Bass did not answer, so Blevins kept asking questions. Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? The reporter pressed. Again, Bass stood silent and nearly motionless. Blevins was referring to a budget reduction Bass approved last year that cut nearly $18 million from the fire department by freezing hiring and cutting overtime meant for training. NBC Los Angeles reported that. Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Blevins continued. Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Bass stared off into the distance without answering. Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? Blevins asked. About 40 seconds into the questioning, Bass turned away from Blevins on the jetway. No apology for them? Do you think you should have been visiting Ghana when this was unfolding back home? Blevins said. She then angled her way behind an aide before she walked away. And not only that, guys, not only that. Yesterday, the New York Post reported that the California governor, Gavin Newsom, cut $100 million for fire prevention before the deadly wildfires. Embattled California Governor Gavin Newsom slashed funding earmarked for fighting wildfires by more than $100 million the fiscal year, a review of the state's budget found. The lefty politician's fiscal 2025 budget, signed in June, eliminated $101 million from 7 wildfire and forest resilience programs, according to Newsweek. This included cutting $5 million from CAL FIRE's new $129 million budget for fuel reduction teams, including funds used by the state's National Guard for vegetation management work aimed at reducing threats of fires igniting and spreading. Other related cuts include $28 million from multiple state conservancies to use on wildfire resilience, $12 million from a home hardening pilot program to make homes more resilient to wildfires, $8 million from the fire monitoring and research spending, mostly dedicated to CAL FIRE and state universities, $4 million from a forest legacy program that encourages landowners to manage their properties. Newsom's office called the reports of fire prevention budget cuts a ridiculous lie. The governor has doubled the size of our firefighting army, built the world's largest aerial firefighting fleet, and the state has increased the forest management tenfold since he took office, Newsom's spokesperson Izzy Garden told Fox News. Now, I don't know about all that, guys, but at least 150,000 residents have been forced to evacuate their homes in Southern California as wildfires continue. to rage across the Pacific Palisades and surrounding areas. At least 11 people have passed away and thousands of structures have been destroyed. It's 16. The count is now for the people who have passed away. It is now 16. CAL FIRE did not return messages. I'm sure they didn't. But to me, guys, it looks like extreme incompetence. There's no excuse for this. And no wonder people are saying that this was possibly planned, along with the plans they have for making that area of Los Angeles a potential area for a smart city, and then being refused and denied to be able to begin the process of doing so. But we will continue to watch what's going on. Prayers and love go out to the California residents affected by this and traumatized by this terrible thing. California looks like I Am Legend. It looks like the walking DEAD. It's horrible to watch. And these catastrophes, of every catastrophe now, seems to be very, very questionable. Peace and love, guys. Stay safe.
This is what Joe Rogan said about what a firefighter told him about the future of LA fires. And this was 6 months ago.
Factor, I talked to this guy who was a fire guy for the fire department. He said, it's just going to be a matter of time. There's going to be one day where a fire hits LA and the wind is the right way and we're not going to be able to stop it. It's just going to burn right through to the ocean. He goes, it's just a matter of time. We all know it. I was like, what the fuck, dude? I go, the whole city? He goes, the whole city.
The whole city.
When those big fires get going, there's not a damn thing. Like what happened in Malibu a few years back.
And did you guys see this? Talking about the fire hydrants are running dry. And on top of that, insurance companies started canceling people's fire insurance policy in LA months prior to these fires. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Cause I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like there's something really, really fishy going on. And lately I've been seeing people getting on the governor of California's head. A lot of people are saying that it's due to his incompetence. So yeah, let me know what y'all think.